If you're leading a team, whether it's already good but not quite reaching its potential, or one that keeps slipping through the cracks, stay tuned. Because in this video, we're going to uncover the common denominator behind failing and underperforming teams. And I'm going to show you how to remove it so your team can perform at its best. We're going to dig into why so many leaders get trapped into the wrong mindset about performance and talk about what's really driving underperformance, even when you've got great people. I'll also share the key shift that creates sustainable results. Now you're going to want to watch to the end because I am going to reveal the one process that will guarantee you know whether any problem is a system problem or if it's your people. Let's get into this. Every leader wants stronger performance from their team. Now, maybe you've hired the best people you could find. They've been top performers elsewhere. Or you've encouraged them and you've tied their work to a bigger purpose. You've stayed positive. Yet, things still slip through the cracks. So you've tried chastising them, but that didn't stick. So then what? You start to think, my people just aren't accountable. And if they aren't accountable, well, the conclusion feels kind of obvious. There's got to be a weak link someplace. And maybe someone misrepresented themselves when they got hired. Well, here's the problem with that thinking. See, it feels rational, but frankly, it's not right. And it's quietly killing your team performance. And if you stay stuck in that mindset, you're going to keep spinning your wheels round and round, burning up your energy, trying to fix your people, instead of fixing the conditions that make your team succeed. You see, your business exists to serve a bigger purpose. You're providing value to other people or other companies, and they are in turn providing value to the world somehow. So when you create a team that's firing on all cylinders, well, you're not just reducing your own frustration, you're actually improving the lives of your team members and other stakeholders by increasing their sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. And at the same time, you're able to deliver more value into the world through the products or services that you're providing. So, what's the answer? Well, what if the problem isn't in your hiring? What if it isn't your inspiration or people who refuse to be accountable? What if it's something else entirely? Now, get me wrong. Even high performers depend as much on culture as they do on talent. And without alignment, that talent, well, it doesn't really create performance. Frankly, it will frequently create friction. And most leadership theory will push you in one of two directions. There's transformational leadership, which says inspire your people, give them vision, give them purpose, give them a calling. Then there's transactional leadership, which simply says let's reinforce structure with some accountability. We're going to give them both the carrot and the stick. And both have their value. See, inspiration fuels effort. When people feel inspired, they want to do more. And the structure, well, that allows it to be sustained and repeated. Here's the catch, though. People think it's one or the other. And neither one is enough on its own. Inspiration without the structure, well, eventually it leads to chaos, with everyone chasing their own interpretation of the goal. While structure without inspiration, well, frankly, that just creates compliance. And you never reach high performing. At the best, you sort of get some sort of steady state, but never what you're looking for. And that's why teams underperform, even when you think you're doing everything right. Now, before I go further, I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest challenge you're facing with your team right now? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're finding this valuable, go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss another tactical leadership breakthrough. Now, I've been in leadership for more than 35 years, both in business and the military. And frankly, I've made just about every mistake you can make. I've hired well, set clear goals, and motivated my teams. And yet, early on especially, my results fell short. I've been there. What I eventually realized, my mindset was wrong. And I had to go back to my days as a naval officer to figure it out. And it came to me one day when I remembered a lesson I learned from a very salty naval chief petty officer. And I remember he told me, "Sir, your job isn't telling people what to do. That's my job. Your job is to remove the obstacles that keep them from doing it." That moment stuck with me. And frankly, it became the genesis of my success-failure doctrine. So here it is, and here's the mindset shift. And it's straight from the Radical Accountability Playbook. Success belongs to the team, while failure belongs to the leader. No, I know. Everybody has a part in a failure, right? Or do they? Think about it this way. Your team is the one doing the hard work. driving that success. When everything is running correctly, you don't have to do anything. And sometimes that's the hardest part of leadership. And one of the reasons it feels so hard to sit back is that it feels like you're not contributing. But if you step in and things are going well, the team starts to think you don't trust them to do their job. Or worse, they start to second guess themselves, wondering what they missed. Because they know your job is to step in only if there's a problem. Stepping in prematurely doesn't build confidence, it actually creates problems where none existed. And that's why the discipline to hold back matters just as much as the courage to step in. And as a leader, your real role is to step in when things go sideways, because your job is to remove the barriers that keep your people from succeeding. So if the job succeeds, the credit goes to the team. They're the ones who carried it out. They're the ones who got the job done. But if it fails, then clearly there was an obstacle to success that wasn't removed or mitigated. And the person responsible for removing that obstacle is you as the leader. And that's why failure belongs to you as the leader. Now, when you embrace that, it changes everything. Instead of wondering, how do I push people harder? You start asking a better question. What barriers are keeping my team from being successful? And how do I remove, mitigate, or reduce them? See, your success depends on their success, and their success depends on you doing your job, removing those barriers. And the only way you win is when the team wins. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't weak performers. Of course there can be. But when you've done everything you can do to set them up for success, you've clarified roles, you've built trust, you put in systems in place, you're modeling the standards you want them to show you, you've provided real, formalized training on your processes and procedures, as well as the mindset that they need to have. And you've tested them so that you know they meet these standards. Well, it's no longer a guessing game. And the reason it's no longer a guessing game is that you're now set up to use the process I told you about at the start of this video. The process that guarantees you'll know whether the problem is your systems or your people. It's called a quality board or Q board, and it can be used anytime a process fails or, frankly, when a threshold that you set is crossed. And here's how it works. Once you have documented processes, procedures, real training, then the next step is to simply sit down with your team and ask them to walk you through the exact steps they took. Well, when you do that, you're going to find there are only 3 possible results. First, your process was followed exactly, and yet it still broke down. Well, that's great news because that means the process itself failed, not your people. Second, somebody deviated from the process because they saw an unforeseen failure approaching and they wanted to try to avoid it. Now, that also points to a systemic weakness that needs to be fixed. Third, the process was ignored entirely. That's not a system problem. That's a personnel issue. And now you have a clear coaching opportunity. Now, the first 2 outcomes tell you the system is at fault, and you have the opportunity to iterate and improve your processes. Well, the last one tells you somebody made a choice not to follow it. And your job is to figure out how come they made that choice. Is it correctable? Or is this somebody who needs an opportunity to work elsewhere? Either way, you know exactly what needs to be addressed. Without the Q board, leaders are left guessing, but with it, you know with certainty whether you need to fix the system or coach the person. Now, if you want to go deeper into this, I'll be producing a video that walks you through the Q board process in detail. It's a structured process I use to uncover these issues step by step, and when it's ready, you'll be able to find it right here on this channel. So if you want to improve your team performance, start here. Accept that if the initiative fails, it's your fault as the leader. And only then will you begin removing those barriers that keep your people from succeeding. And from there, use the Q board process to separate systemic issues from personnel issues so you can act with precision instead of blame. Now, to go deeper, sign up for my newsletter and you'll get twice a month tactical bits of information you can use, as well as access to my Locked On Radical Accountability Tactics Guide, inside of which you'll find both the Q board framework as well as 9 other powerful leadership frameworks that you can start using right away. Join the Radical Accountability Movement. Watch the next video right here and subscribe so you never miss a tactical breakthrough with Locked On Leadership. Keep an eye out for the cue board video too. It's coming soon, and it will show you exactly how to apply this process in your own business.